Welcome everyone, Farmer Cop here. This is going to be a guide to the honey production mod by John Wayne 1930. This is 92 kilobytes to download for all platforms, so it's a very small mod. Yeah, it just came out recently. So yeah, this basically the kind of concept here I think that John Wayne 1930 is going for. I've just fun. It's an ability to produce honey without bees. And my favorite part about his description is on the output it shows honey, then there's an asterisk, and then you go to the bottom it says may differ in taste from bee honey, which is kind of funny because it's in game and it's all the same product. Anyways, but anyhow, so yeah, basically you're taking 3 ingredients, water, sugar, and corn, to make a honey substitute, basically, is kind of the concept here. We're going to talk about why you might want to use this. Is it profitable just to make honey with this thing, with those products? How is that all going to look? And obviously how to make it. So there's actually only one piece to this whole thing. It's just this little production point here, which if you go into, I did check, there's no selling point that comes with this. Well, obviously you can sell honey pretty much anywhere. Well, not anywhere, but anywhere that takes pallets and stuff. But go to the bottom of your productions, $18,000 to buy. And you can place it wherever you would like to. So it's not very expensive to get one of these productions up and running, which is kind of nice as well. Then obviously for the production building itself, we have the wrench to be able to access the menu. So we can get in here and take a look at that, which we'll talk about that more. You can also, obviously you can also go just into your menu by hitting escape or whatever key it is on consoles. But yeah, we have our area here where the pallets are going to spawn, and this is our input area right here where we're going to put pallets in, which is quite nice, or put ingredients in. I shouldn't say pallets. Some of them is ingredient or pallets, which I have the sugar here for in a second. But yeah, so putting stuff in, I'm going to lift these using super strength. You'll have to use a forklift potentially, or depending on, if you use like Yas's little pallets mod, this should work fine. But you just get the pallets in there, sugar, it's all going in there just fine. Then our next ingredient is going to be our corn. So if I just pull over top of this dump icon right here, should be able to dump some corn in there. So any bulk trailer or anything like that, anything that can hold corn, you can just dump it in like that. I'll pull this guy just kind of out of our way for now, which that'll be fine right there. And then here I have a tanker with water to be able to put water into the production. And same thing, you're just going to kind of pull over the top of it, and you'll get the icon to unload water, and then you have water going in there, which is nice. And those are our 3 ingredients. It's pretty straightforward recipe as well. And again, we'll answer the question later on in this video, is it actually worth making honey with this guy right here? So we'll talk about that as well. Here we go. And we'll actually also do a comparison too, which I wasn't originally planning to do this, but I'm thinking it'll be worthwhile. We'll do a comparison to see how much honey this produces compared to like maybe a large beehive or something like that. So we'll kind of do a little bit of a comparison there as well, just to kind of see over the course of like a day. But yeah, we put stuff in there. So if we go into our menu, honey production, it's set to storing right now, which means it's going to fill up with honey until it has enough to spawn a pallet. It'll start spawning pallets in the pallet zone. And then once the pallet zone is full, it'll just keep filling up with honey in here. If you change that to selling, it's going to automatically sell the honey that it's produced every hour. And then if you change that to distributing, it's going to take the honey and move it to a different production. For example, you might have a, where is it at? Sugar mill carve. Do they have one on here? No cereal factory on this map. But anyhow, a cereal factory would be an example of one that would take honey for cereal. So if you own a cereal factory and you set it to distributing, it would send it over there. But we are going to set it to storing for now. But yeah, you can see we have, it can't hold a lot of stuff. It can only hold 2,000 liters of corn, 4,000 of sugar, and 8,000 of water. Which, to be fair, that's enough for when one of these runs out, they'll all be empty if you fill them all up. This is proportionate to how much they're being used. And then down here you can see the status, which is currently inactive. We're not going to activate it yet. I'm going to set the time up to about 1 p.m. and then we're going to fast forward 24 hours with this and some bees. So we'll get that going for us here in a second as well. Then down here, 1,080 cycles per month. So this recipe down here is going to happen 1,080 times per month. So if you have your settings to 7 days per month, or I don't even think that's a setting, but whatever setting it is, however many days you have in a month, that will be divided by that. If you have 1 day per month set as your settings, then this is going to happen every month, or every day, excuse me. And it costs $24 to run this per month. So it's not too much to run either. Pretty cheap to get into this one. But 3 liters of water, 2 liters of sugar, and 1 liter of corn to get you 1 liter of honey. So it is a little bit of a pricey recipe, I think, and we'll kind of take a look at that a little bit more here in a bit. But there may be a really good reason why you might want to use this instead of your, honey spawn, or your bees or whatever. So we'll talk about that as well. But we're not going to get it going yet. Let's get our time up to about Oh, let's get us up to, yeah, right, maybe a little bit more. Right there. Stop the time. All right, at least get it pretty close to stopped. And let's go ahead and place for bees. Let's just place. This is the big one. Let's place. These are $3,000 to buy. That was 18,000 to buy. So let's do. There's 6,000. There's 12,000, and here's 18,000. So that was what you would get for the price of this guy, which I think is a good comparison. Obviously, this costs $200 for the pallet spawn, but that's okay. We'll place that down there. Yeah, and let's go ahead and activate this bad boy. It should produce 1,000 liters, so we'll see if that also produces 1,000 liters or how much that produces, which, yeah, we'll just kind of see this together. Let's go ahead and just, I'll fast forward time. I don't even need to put a break in here, I don't think. We'll just fast forward time together. I wish I would have added easy dev to be able to check some things like that, or be able to speed up time a little bit faster, but that's okay. So you can see we're slowly making honey down here. Easy peasy. And these guys, you don't have any status of like how they're making honey, but when they start making honey, it should spawn right there on that spawn point, which is great. So I don't know how long it'll take. And actually, you know what? I might as well just put a break in here because we're going to be waiting a little while, especially at this time rate. So I will see you guys when we get to about maybe noon tomorrow, and then we'll fast forward the rest of the time together. All right, we're starting to come up on 1 o'clock. We have one pallet here, which is what is expected, but nothing over here yet, which is kind of unexpected, to be honest. Yeah, so there we go. I don't know how much they produced yet. I'm going to try to put down only one allowed per farm. Can I delete this one? I'm worried maybe it's too close or something. Can I not delete that? I may not even be able to delete it. Interesting. Won't let me delete that. Well, yeah, I might fast forward a little bit more time just to see if I can get some honey to spawn out. But yeah, so here we have one pallet, 1,000 liters of honey. Let's go ahead and just for the sake of it, we're already here. You know, we might as well just do this. And I should have done this probably just originally. Let's just put this right here and let's just see what we can get going here. Get in this thing. Let's go ahead and let's just fast forward till 1 o'clock tomorrow. Let's fast forward a full 24 hours. Because I'm curious if it's actually going to spawn a pallet or not. If it's just not spawning any pallets, then I don't know. It could be an issue with how I have things placed, to be honest. But yeah, and I don't know. It doesn't say really. There's no like game guide to how much honey each one of these things will create. Yeah, there's nothing there. That's so strange. I feel like I've done something wrong because this should be producing honey. So let me go ahead and do a little bit of testing here, and I'll bring you guys back in just a bit. All right, so I just had to go forward a little bit more, another day, and here we have 121 liters. So this is way faster, even though this is not fast. This makes basically 1,080 liters a month. This is not a fast process over here. Yeah. Oh, it says it still has water, but it's missing the other ingredients. What is happening here? Oh, I guess that's only 3 times. So that makes sense. Never mind. Okay, the ratios are all checking out. This should be 6,000 if it needed to be even, but that makes sense. So they had enough to make basically 2,000 liters of honey. So that checks out. But anyhow, okay, so this is way faster than even the same amount of hives for that same price. So that would be one big indicator for why you may want to use this instead, is that even though this basically is free honey in essence, because it just will produce honey as time goes, like really effectively actually, but this is only producing 121 liters of honey in 3 months. So if you take 121, divide it by 6, and then divide it by 3, each one of these hives is only making 6.7 liters of honey a month. That's insane. That's insane. They need to produce way more than that. But anyhow, that is what it is. So this is way faster. Let's consider that as well. Now let's take a look here at our profitability here. So if we take a look here, honey production I have down here, this spreadsheet is linked down below in the description. It has everything on it. Water, sugar, and corn are the inputs. There's 1,080 cycles a month. 3 liters of water, 2 liters of sugar, 1 liter of corn. This is how much those products are worth if you were to sell them instead of put them in. Now, water I consider free. And on the second tab down here, these are the values I use. So you have like the value that I use for corn, the value I use for honey to calculate things. The value for sugar is $900 per 1,000 liters, but it's somewhere up here. I don't know where it's at. Oh, it's right there. and then water I have for free. But if I was to change this to, like, let's say we pay $1,000 per 1,000 liters per water, it now adds a price in here for water. It all calculates across the board, but we're gonna leave that at 0. So anyhow, this is linked down below. You can have access to the sheet. So if you were to take the corn and sugar basically and sell it separately, you would get, $2.48. However, this honey is only worth $1.80 as it comes out. So you're actually losing 71 cents every cycle, which is about $762 a month. And these are the required inputs per month to keep this thing completely running. And there's the output per month, and there's the cost per month. And this profitability does include the cost per month in there. Now, yes, this is a loss, but let's go back to the game here and talk about this. So yes, this is a loss. You're going to lose money technically, but it's way more convenient. It takes way less space than the amount of hives you need to produce that honey. So this is going to produce way more honey, and I bet you could still make a profit off of cereal if you're using the honey for cereal or something like that. It just wouldn't make sense if you're using this to make honey to sell the honey. So don't use it for that. Don't use it for selling honey. But if you need honey for other products, this is a really quick way to do it without the need of the hives. Because obviously, those hives take more space than this, and those hives produce hardly anything compared to this. I mean, that's insane. Those produce, those hives over there are producing 20 liters every month or something like that. Like, it's not, the comparison is ridiculous. Like, you need a whole field of hives to produce what a couple of these could produce. So this is way more efficient in terms of that. The other benefit to this is obviously you can set your honey to distributing. So if you're doing cereal factory, you wouldn't even have to move the honey pallets. The honey would automatically move over to your cereal factory, and that convenience alone might be worth taking a little loss on the honey. So those are a couple things to think about, I think, versus obviously for like a cereal factory, you'd have to move all this honey into the cereal factory. You can't set this to distribute. So yeah, that's another benefit there. But anyhow, that's what I got for this video for you guys. If you guys enjoyed, please drop a like down below. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button up on the screen to join the Farmer Cop channel and turn on your notification bell so you don't miss any future videos I may post. This has been Farmer Cop. Thank you guys for coming and watching. I'll see you guys on the next one.